Welcome back to the Hannahcast YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be giving you my October Oscar predictions, this time for the acting categories and SAG Ensemble. And yeah, before I do that, I want to let you guys know that I still have memberships open. We got a couple members already, and we got a lot of videos. I'm making a lot more videos with all this new news coming along. So consider becoming a member. It would really mean a lot. Anyways, let's get into the predictions, shall we? We're going to start off with lead actor, alright? Because if I start off with lead actress right off the gate, well, one of those titles is going to get my channel demonetized if it's there that soon. So we're just going to bury that a little bit like after this category. So lead actor, alright? Now, I'm still in the camp that Timothée Chalamet takes the Oscar for A Complete Unknown. I know this is like the really big hot take because everyone's saying Adrien Brody. And he could win. But again, my thing with Timothée Chalamet is that I just feel like he fits the bill for Oscar, like for best lead actor winners. You know, biopic performance. He's turning into Bob Dylan. He's doing his own singing. Like, I know we're going to say, well, Austin Butler didn't win for Elvis, but there were a lot of other extenuating circumstances for that. One, Elvis seemed like it was going to be, like, losing a lot of hype. Well, then again, I don't know. You're coming off of the BAFTAs, and it won a couple of Makeup Guild Awards, and it won the Costume Designers Guild Award for period film, so it's like, maybe you could make an argument that it really didn't lose steam until the Oscars came around. But at the same time, you could also make an argument that Timothée Chalamet is way more established than Austin Butler was. Like, Timothée Chalamet is a previous nominee, and he's been close to getting a nomination other times, like with Beautiful Boy, where he got nominated everywhere except for the Oscar. So it's like, the Academy definitely knows who Timothée Chalamet is, and he's also in another Best Picture nominated film with Dune Part 2. And I am going off the assumption that A Complete Unknown is in Best Picture. So with that being said, like, even though I didn't predict him for the Golden Globe, and he might not win Critics' Choice. I mean, I'm trying to think of who else would actually, yeah. I guess maybe it would also be Adrien Brody who wins Critics' Choice, maybe? Which would be weird. Admittedly, like, I am kind of, like, it is tempting to put in Adrien Brody, but I can definitely see Timothée Chalamet taking SAG. But then again, I don't know. It's like, this is really tough. Like, can Timothée Chalamet win the industry awards? And the more I think about it, the more, like, the closer I think it is. Because, like, really the whole reason why A Complete Unknown is trying to get Best Picture is because it knows they can get Timothée Chalamet in there. And, again, he does fit the bill, but with a lot of other races, like, you know, between Eddie Redmayne and Michael Keaton, you could say, well, they both won the Golden Globe, so there was a competition there. You know, same thing with Lily Gladstone versus Emma Stone, or what was it? It was Cillian Murphy versus Paul Giamatti. Like, those races were kind of tough to figure out because they didn't like they both won Globes. So at that point, where's the tide turn? That is actually interesting to think about. Where does the tide eventually turn? I mean, because even Olivia Colman won the Golden Globe, and also, if I'm not mistaken, you know, what was her? Oh yeah, well, Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, she didn't win anything up until, you know, SAG and Critics' Choice. Although Critics' Choice was last that year, and it was SAG, so yeah, that is tough. Whereas SAG, actually, let me take a look at the timeline here. Maybe I should look at how many lead actor winners did not win a Golden Globe. Maybe that can help. Okay, so since the year 2000, there have been 6 lead actor wins that did not have a Golden Globe win. But the thing is, the bulk of that was, like, more in the early 2000s, so God, do I really, like, I guess this would have to be a thing, like, is Timothée Chalamet winning the Golden Globe? Which literally I just put out a video on my early Golden Globe predictions, and I said that Adrien Brody was going to win. And SAG is not really going to have much of an impact this year because they're already going for, like, how to explain? They're already going for wins, like, no, at the SAG Awards, they are going to have the ceremony be like after Oscar voting, I think. Either after Oscar voting or very close to when Oscar voting is finished. And I don't know if the tide's gonna turn with Timothée Chalamet. And I can probably tell that the BAFTAs are going to really like The Brutalist. So it's like, man, do I, like, and people are saying this is, man, this, okay, I'm not gonna lie, this is tough now. This is really, really tough. Because do I think it's gonna be Timothée Chalamet, or do I think it's gonna be Adrian Brody? Damn it. Man, what do I do? Because if Timothy is winning the Oscar, I want to have him win the Globe. Because the stats say that when you win the Globe, or like a Globe, you're most likely going to win. And again, it's like, and then even when you look at the other examples, like, you know, Brendan Fraser, he didn't win lead actor, but you could, even then that's tough. Because with Brendan Fraser not winning actor in a drama at the Golden Globes, it's like you could make an argument that it could have been because the Golden Globes were trying to get back at him because he said he wasn't going to attend the Globes. But at the same time, the Globes and BAFTA usually seem to fall in line with each other a bit. The Globes and BAFTA, they do agree with each other a lot. So, oh my God, wait. Man, should I actually pull this off? Like, man, hold on a second. I can't believe this last minute switch, but I guess I might have to go with Adrian Brody for The Brutalist. Man, I was literally about to say, like, why I think Timothée Chalamet is gonna win for A Complete Unknown, but if I don't have him winning the Golden Globe, and let's face it, the Golden Globes are a lot more in line with like how critics are thinking. Like, they're more criticky than the actual Critics' Choice Awards. So, unless, like, Timmy wins at the Critics' Choice Awards, which even then they probably won't even do that. They're probably not gonna do that. Because, like, they usually like to follow up with what the Globes do. So, I guess I might have to just say, for now, Adrian Brody might win. And I guess it would help The Brutalist's case in winning director, because now it's got lead actor, it's got cinematography, I'm thinking production design. So, wait, and what was another one that he had? So yeah, maybe winning an acting award would help with The Brutalist's case in Brady Corbett winning Best Director. God, but again, I really am looking out for Timothée Chalamet because he does fit the bill for what usually wins lead actor. Like, because it's a biopic performance. He's playing Bob Dylan. But again, it's like, unless I want to predict something like, you know, Anthony Hopkins or but even then, Anthony Hopkins did not win SAG. But also at the same time, like, because BAFTA is kind of important for some of these last few slots, unless there's something like really passionate that the Oscars love that isn't shared by the BAFTAs. But I would say that A Complete Unknown is just not going to be as big as The Brutalist, even at the Oscars. Even if Timothy were to supposedly win, but God, it's tough. So that would mean for Timothée Chalamet to win lead actor, I would have to assume he's either winning the SAG or BAFTA, or more preferably both. But I don't really see BAFTA going for Timothée Chalamet. And again, SAG might, but again, SAG is going to be coming out, like, the SAG winners are going to be announced either right before voting is done at the Oscars or after it's done. So it's not even going to affect the race that much, because we saw how that affected Lily Gladstone. Like, when Lily Gladstone won SAG, we were like, well, see, now the tide's turned at SAG, so now she's going to win the Oscar. But then the Oscars happened and Lily Gladstone lost, and then we realized, oh, wait a minute, like, everyone had already voted at SAG, like, at the Oscars by the time SAG came out. So, and even then, Lily Gladstone won a Golden Globe. So again, man, this is tough. If Timothy wins a Golden Globe, if he wins the Globe and he actually manages to beat Adrian Brody, then I'm saying he's winning the Oscar. I guess it would also make sense because, you know, no one in comedy is going to be touching lead actor. Like, I know a lot of people are trying to say, oh, Hitman's going to do it. Hitman is not good. Like, what? Like, what's, Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell is not getting nominated. Like, the best I think he has might be SAG, but even then, I don't even think SAG goes for him. And, like, I'll explain who that might be in a bit, but yeah. Coleman Domingo and Sing Sing. That's another one where I could also see SAG going for him. Especially if I think Sing Sing is winning Best Picture. Like, him winning lead actor would mean a lot. But I don't know. I feel like there's just two people above him that are a little bit too powerful. And again, I just don't know where he would have to win. Again, he wins SAG, but I don't think SAG is going to change much for anything. But it's tough. Ray Fiennes for Conclave. Conclave's going to be in there for Best Picture. So I feel like he's just going to be fine. He's going to be fine. And then that fifth slot, which is like all over the place. A lot of people are going with Daniel Craig for Queer. And while I don't have The Apprentice in for Best Picture as much as I did before, I didn't have it in for Best Picture, but I had it for like an original screenplay last week. But the fact that it's underperforming this much at the box office, like people just don't care. People just don't care about The Apprentice. Actually, let me look. Yeah, okay, I'm looking at Wikipedia right now, and it's like the movie had basically, like, The Apprentice had like no marketing. Like they could, like, I guess because of the limited marketing spend and all that stuff, and with the lawsuits, it's like they just not been able to market the film, which is so strange. And so that's a problem. And so why do I still think Sebastian Stan can get nominated? Well, I guess it really just depends on if he gets that Globe nomination. If he gets the Globe nomination, it is going to be on people's radar. It's going to be on voters' radar. Like, oh, Sebastian Stan is playing Donald Trump. But again, there's just not a lot of interest in the film. But, God, this is tough. But, I just don't know why. Like, just the idea of nominating a Trump performance from a generally liked movie, I feel like it's just still too irresistible. I don't think he might not even get SAG. Like, there is a good chance Sebastian Stan could only get the Golden Globe nomination, but it's also like, I don't even think Daniel Craig takes SAG. Like, if I'm being completely honest, like, my prediction for who gets that fifth SAG slot might be John David Washington for The Piano Lesson, because, it's very clear that SAG loves August Wilson adaptations. They love and I'll get into that here in a bit, but because of how SAG is, I don't even think Daniel Craig would get in at SAG. I think that would actually be John David Washington. Now, if Sebastian Stan did get the SAG nomination, oh boy, at least if it was accompanied by a Globe nomination. Like, if he only got SAG and that was the only thing he got, then I think that would be a lot of trouble, because there have been a lot of performances that got only SAG nominated, and that didn't translate to anything. Look at Penelope Cruz for Ferrari. Look at Adam Sandler for Hustle. Amy Adams for Hillbilly Elegy. Like, none of that ended up, like, doing anything, because, like, I guess these days a lone SAG nomination is just not really enough to get you anywhere, or at least it doesn't get you to the Oscar. But again, if Sebastian Stan got the Golden Globe nomination, which, admittedly, in a lineup of 6, I don't see why he wouldn't. But but still, if he got the Golden Globe nomination and SAG, I feel like, yeah, he would be in. He would be in. And honestly, he might even get Critics' Choice. He might also get Critics' Choice, because this is not a very strong lineup of contenders. I mean, maybe Nicholas Hoult for Juror Number 2, but I don't even know where he would get nominated. I mean, I guess SAG might, because I do think Juror Number 2 is going to slowly make its way out, but, if they want to do Nicholas Hoult, SAG could do it, but I don't know. Again, I already explained John David Washington. I don't think he's going to get nominated for the Oscar, but I do think he'll probably get the SAG nomination, because, again, they love August Wilson plays. Kingsley Ben-Adir for Bob Marley One Love. I'm still entertaining this because of like, again, it's not a very strong field, and they might dip back in. But again, I don't even think he gets nominated, so what do I care? Gabriel LaBelle for Saturday Night, he could get SAG too. And also, I out of all the contenders for Best Actor in a musical or comedy at the Globes, I feel like Gabriel LaBelle would be most likely to get the Oscar nomination, despite the fact that I think Glenn Powell is gonna win. But still, I feel like he would make sense. Like out of all the musical comedy contenders of the Globes, I feel like Gabriel LaBelle would make the most sense for an Oscar nomination. Paul Mescal for Gladiator 2. I don't think, again, even now, granted, the reactions for Gladiator 2 have come out, and they are very positive for the most part. Although even then, it seems like people are saying it's not as good as the first. So I don't think this is going to repeat with like a Best Actor win, let alone a nomination. Where would he most likely get in? Again, SAG could maybe do it because it is big and popular. Maybe Critics' Choice, because like they might really like Gladiator 2. But I don't know. They might just go with the top 6. I don't know. Like they just might go with the top 6. Tom Hanks for Here. No. Anthony Hopkins for One Life. Again, I feel like some people don't even know that movie is even supposed to be out this year. So I say probably not. Now we get to lead actress. I still think Amy Adams is going to win for Night Bitch. Again, like the screenings, the screenings that are happening right now, they're going over well, and even for those who don't really like the movie all that much, they still rave Amy Adams' performance. This is one where I feel like, yeah, if she can win the musical comedy Golden Globe, then she can also win SAG. And that, because like the Critics' Choice Awards, they might go for maybe like I was about to say maybe they could go for like Mikey Madison, but I don't know. Lately they've been liking to copy what the Oscars are going to be like doing, or what they want the Oscars to do, and I don't know. Maybe they give it to Amy Adams, or maybe they give it to Angelina Jolie, but I don't know. Even Kristen Stewart didn't. But then again, I was about to say Kristen Stewart didn't win for Spencer, but at the same time, at the Critics' Choice Awards, they were last. Like they came after SAG, and it was pretty clear that when Jessica Chastain won the SAG award, the Critics' Choice went, oh, this is our chance to give Jessica Chastain her Oscar. So yeah, like I don't know what, like, but they might just copy what the Globes do. But at the same time, I guess in my video I had Tilda Swinton winning the Globe for The Room Next Door. Although maybe they might go for Angelina Jolie for Maria. I don't know. But at the same time, the Globes really love Pedro Almodovar. So this is tough. I guess this is really tough to figure out. Right now, but I don't know. Right now, I'll still say that Amy Adams, if Amy Adams does win the Golden Globe Comedy Musical Award, then I feel like she could win the Oscar, especially if she wins SAG. Like I do feel like this is going to be a very SAG friendly performance, and she can win a Golden Globe. She can win it. And again, I feel like she just has a lot better of a chance than someone like Mikey Madison or Carla Sofia Gascon, because those two are not very well known. I mean, people are going to try to say Mikey Madison, oh, well, she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Nobody knew who she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Let's be real about that. Like, no one knew who Mikey Madison was. If anything, I feel like Honora is the film that's getting her on the radar. But right now, I don't feel like she is strong enough to win, like, lead actress. Winning. Think about that. Winning. They don't really give that to newcomers a whole lot. Even Brie Larson had a larger filmography, or at least a more notable filmography than Mikey Madison did. So I'm not really willing to say right now that Mikey Madison's going to win. And I don't want to go for Carla Sofia Gascon, because even I still think like she's on the cusp of a nomination. Because again, I don't like thinking of people this way, but there is a chance that the Academy might be too transphobic to nominate her. Like she might be on the cutting block for nominations because they just, it's like, trans rights are such a, for some reason, a controversial issue. And I could and I've heard some people say, well, the Academy's not full of a bunch of conservatives. It's like, it's not even just conservatives. There are liberals that don't like trans people. Like, look at Bette Midler and and others of that there. And even Mindy Kaling liked some of J.K. Rowling's transphobic tweets. And now, again, obviously, I don't know if she's in the Academy or not, but it's an example. It's not just a conservative versus liberal thing. It's like there are a lot of liberals that don't really like trans people, and I'm worried that could hurt Carla Sofia Gascon. I don't want that to happen, but there is always that worry. And even then, because of that, I just don't think I can predict her for the win, because that is a huge hurdle to climb. That's a huge hurdle. It would be amazing if she were able to pull that off, but I don't think she will. I think that bias is still going to be there. And so really you only have, in terms of the ones that people are really trying to predict, then you only have Mikey Madison. And I just don't think she has a stronger filmography than Carla Sofia Gascon, but I feel like her case is a little bit worse. No, not worse, but her case is still not great in terms of filmography. Whereas, again, that kind of leaves me with either Amy Adams, Angelina Jolie, and Tilda Swinton. Again, I don't know if Tilda Swinton's going to be winning an Oscar for The Room Next Door, so, and that Angelina Jolie, she is playing a big biopic character, and maybe she wins the Golden Globe, and I would take her a lot more seriously if she did. But Maria, people don't even like Maria all that much less so than Jackie and Spencer. If she did win the Golden Globe, I forgot even this, Natalie Portman didn't even win the Golden Globe drama, so it was Isabelle Huppert for Elle. So, so maybe Angelina Jolie would have to win the BAFTA. Maybe, I could see Angelina Jolie winning the BAFTA. That would make sense. A Golden Globe BAFTA, that's actually not a bad combo, but yeah, that's tough. But again, Amy Adams, I feel like everything is kind of going her way. People are kind of mixed on the movie and whatnot, but the people who like Night Bitch, really love Night Bitch. And there is also the career narrative behind her. She's been nominated so many times and hasn't won an Oscar. This is a very big, showy performance. She can win the Golden Globe for this. I feel like that's definitely possible. And she can win SAG. That's pretty important. If everyone has the mindset of, oh, now it's our time to give Amy Adams the Oscar because there's not really a great case for everyone else. Because again, even Maria, with Night Bitch, the movie, the people that like Night Bitch, again, they really love it. I don't really know anyone that really loves Maria. People love Honora, but there's not much of a big case for Mikey Madison to win, other than the fact that Honora could win Best Picture. And I don't know how many times that's happened with newcomers, that kind of narrative where it's oh, a newcomer won a lead acting Oscar because they were in the Best Picture frontrunner. Is that really going to happen? I just don't know about that. And Tilda Swinton, it's that just feels like a performance that would just not really win an Oscar. I mean, I guess she does have, even though she doesn't even really have a narrative, because she does have an Oscar, which granted, the Oscars are not privy to, or I don't even know if I'm using the right word. The Oscars are not opposed to giving an actor multiple Oscars. But for The Room Next Door, for a movie that's probably not going to get Best Picture everywhere, that's kind of tough. And I know I just said that knowing that Night Bitch is not really going to get Best Picture probably, but at least people already know that. People already know that it's not getting Best Picture. Sort of like Tammy Faye. And I already explained with, Carla Sofia Gascon. So it's I guess for me, Night Bitch just makes the most sense. Amy Adams just made the most sense for me to rationalize for, for the Oscar win. Because, again, she has the career narrative behind her. People seem to generally like Night Bitch, and those who do like it very, very much like it. And the performance is very showy. It is SAG-friendly, and she could win the Golden Globe for this. So that's kind of my thought process going through here. And again, it's just hard for me to figure out who would win anywhere else. So, yeah, and because honestly, who would win the BAFTA? this would be tough. Who would win the BAFTA here? Would it be Tilda Swinton? Because again, I just don't think Carla Sofia Gascon. She's definitely not winning BAFTA. Mikey Benson, again, I don't know if they would go for her for BAFTA. And I guess Angelina Jolie would maybe make sense, but it's like, this is such a crazy year. It's just tough. Right now, I'll stick with Amy Adams, because right now, Amy Adams just makes the most sense for me right now. Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. She could definitely get an Oscar nomination for this, at least based on the buzz I'm hearing. And this would definitely be a performance that would be up for the Golden Globe and would definitely be up for the BAFTA. Like SAG and Critics' Choice probably not, but BAFTA would definitely nominate her. So I'm keeping my eye out for her. I've taken out Julianne Moore for The Room Next Door, because people do seem to be more buzzy around Tilda Swinton. So there is that. Marianne Jean-Baptiste for Hard Truths. She could definitely get the Golden Globe and the BAFTA nomination, but I don't know. I do want to predict mostly Best Picture nominated actresses, or if they're like big, like pretty much legends, like the big names, like your Annette, because I tried going with Greta Lee at first for Best Lead Actress, and then that didn't work. And then Margot Robbie, since she got everything. But, however, what did they do? They ended up nominating Annette Bening for Nyad, because she was the big, well-known name. She was the big veteran that everyone knows. And I feel like Amy Adams and Angelina Jolie are already going to be that. So I don't think I have enough room for Marianne Jean-Baptiste. Because at least these two, I feel like, are win competitive, even though some people don't even have Amy Adams in the top 5. So yeah. Saoirse Ronan for The Outrun. Again, I think this is just more of a case of I just don't have enough space. And admittedly, I think she has like 5 nominations, I think. Well, actually, no. Does she have 5 nominations? Atonement, Brooklyn, Little Women. Let me look. Okay, she has 4 nominations. She has 4 nominations for, the Oscars. Yeah, Atonement, Brooklyn, Lady Bird, and Little Women. Okay, that's what I was missing, Lady Bird. But, yeah. Yeah, like, she does have a lot of nominations. So, but again, it's tough. I just have to figure, like, if I were to take someone out, it'd probably have to be Carla Sofia Gascon. But that is tough. It is tough. Regina King for Shirley. I don't think she's getting nominated, but she could get SAG. I could definitely see SAG. Like, that would probably be like the performance where it's like lone SAG and does not repeat at the Oscars. I could definitely see that happening. Demi Moore for The Substance. All right, let's talk about The Substance here, because The Substance is making a lot of money. I mean, obviously, it's not like making hundreds of millions of dollars, but for a horror movie like this, that really, like, your biggest star is, like, Demi Moore and Dennis Quaid, which they're not, I wouldn't say they're big box office draws anyway. The word of mouth for The Substance is big. It is big. All right, people love this movie. And everyone's talking about Demi Moore. And I was watching an Oscar expert video on, like, on what would be the Substance's path be like to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. And Cole suggested that Demi Moore, if everyone's nominating Demi Moore, they could just pull The Substance along with it. Unlike some movies where it's like you have the performance. You have the movie, and then the performance comes along with the movie in terms of nominations. But here, Demi Moore could be pulling the movie into the Oscars. That is something to think about. And if they do play their cards right and place it in the comedy musical category at the Globes, then yeah, Demi Moore could get nominated. Like, the Critics' Choice Awards might nominate her. And SAG, maybe SAG. So it's tough. And I have been, like, warming up to the idea of maybe The Substance winning Best Makeup. Because it, like, when compared to a lot of other horror movies, like, audiences really do like this one. They like it more than Hereditary. They like it more than Us. Like, this is a horror movie that's appealing to general audiences way more than I thought. And so that is something I really want to consider. I want to see some precursor support before I predict Demi Moore, and also if the substance seems like it's going to be like actually a thing that's happening. But I want to keep my eye on her because she could maybe happen. Nicole Kidman for Baby Girl. I know I have it very low in the list, but I don't know. I'm kind of I'm running out of room in terms of precursors. Like I don't even think I had her I had her predicted at the Globes, and so yeah. Sorry. Cynthia Erivo for Wicked. If I'm not mistaken, did I even have Cynthia Erivo predicted for the Golden Globes? Because if I didn't, again, unless Wicked is way bigger and way more popular than I imagined, at least in terms of if audiences really love this movie, and apparently it's looking to have a pretty gigantic opening weekend. Like, my God. Like, I think it was 120 something million, domestically alone. That's crazy. Like, that's crazy. But again, that's tough, because I don't know if I can say Cynthia Erivo is going to get nominated for Wicked. Like, Wicked? And people are probably going to say, well, didn't, somebody, hold on, let me look. Okay, yeah, Idina Menzel did win the Tony, but also it's I don't know. People were saying that, what was it? Samuel L. Jackson won his Tony for The Piano Lesson, or that Danielle Brooks won the Tony for The Color Purple. It's the Tonys and the Oscars are just, I think what we need to assume is just they're not the same thing. And also with musical, with the Tonys, there's way less competition, so that would allow someone Idina Menzel for Wicked to win lead actress in a musical. Whereas here, it's way more competitive. So I'm probably not gonna say that Cynthia Erivo was nominated. Unless Wicked is in picture, which even then, that's a very hard stretch. I do think if Wicked were in Best Picture, Cynthia Erivo would probably come along with the film. But I just don't see that happening right now. Pamela Anderson for The Last Showgirl. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. And Robin Wright for Here. Yeah, I don't know. We still have to see how Here does, but I do doubt at this point that Here is going to be an Oscar contender. I really do. Now we get to supporting actress. All right, supporting actress. I still think Zoe Saldana is winning, but I have made a slight change in predictions, and that is instead, I've dropped Danielle Deadwyler down to number 4 because, Felicity Jones could win BAFTA. Even I feel like Felicity Jones is just stronger overall in terms of, at least when compared to Danielle Deadwyler, who's not even going to be in the Best Picture nominated film. But Felicity Jones, I feel like she'd be more likely to win. Same with Selena Gomez for Emilia Perez. We're basically dealing with 3 performances that are top 5 films in for Best Picture versus Danielle Deadwyler in a film that's just not going to be in Best Picture. So, yeah. I still have Toni Collette for Juror number 2. Because I feel like if Juror number 2 is going to get nominated, I feel like Toni Collette might come along with the film. Obviously, we don't know how big her role is, but as of right now, I'll probably say, yeah, I'll go with Toni Collette for now. At least considering the fact that I have Juror number 2 still in Best Picture. Although, admittedly, I am concerned about Juror number 2. I am concerned because for some reason Warner Brothers is only putting it in 50 theaters, and reportedly they don't even have any plans to release it. Which makes no sense. They're just throwing money away because people go, they like to go watch the Clint Eastwood films. That's what they do. The old people love watching Clint Eastwood movies. Why are they not pushing this? This doesn't make any sense. They're probably going to say, well, The Mule didn't make any money. Yeah, The Mule didn't make any money because you released it on HBO Max on the same day. And it was also during the pandemic. Come on, people. Okay, well, I did look, and Richard Jewell bombed at the box office. Okay, I didn't realize that. But still, it's I don't know. With something like Juror number 2, actually, wait, no, didn't I? Wait, I just realized. December 13th. Oh yeah, I guess you could maybe make an argument that December was pretty busy in terms of movies, because that's when Star Wars was getting ready to come out, and yeah. So I don't know, but I don't know what's going on with this movie. If Warner Brothers just does not expand the release on this film, that's gonna be a big problem. Because at least I could say that with Sing Sing, I like that's a like at least with Sing Sing, that's a film that I just kind of have this theory that A24 just gave people a taste of it before pulling it from theaters, and then once it starts racking up the Oscar nominations, that's when they start blasting it in theaters again. I'm wondering if like Warner Brothers is trying to do this with Juror Number Two, like I don't know. Because at least, unless it's just bad, if people just don't like this movie, then okay, yeah, drop it all. But I don't know. It just feels not right now, especially considering what kind of plot this movie has, and that it's Eastwood's final film. I still gotta have it in Best Picture for now. We'll have to see how everything goes. Apparently, if I'm not mistaken, I think AFI, like the first screenings for the movie were doing very, very well. So that's gonna be, we'll have to see how that happens. But right now I have Juror Number Two in for Best Picture, so I want to have an acting category and an acting nomination in there. So I have Toni Collette. Although even though I have it in for another nomination. But another tempting pick is Anjanou Ellis for Nickel Boys. I just admittedly, I will say the Rotten Tomatoes score is going up, so that's good for it. I'm just I guess right now it's just I'm having trouble fitting anything into Best Picture right now, and I'm already I'm a little bit more confident in some of these films. But I will say if Juror Number Two is out for picture, hell, I don't even have Blitz in for picture right now. But we'll have to see how everything goes, because right now I have some of my more controversial picks. I have A Complete Unknown in Best Picture, Juror Number Two, The Room Next Door, and The Seat of the Sacred Fig. Maybe if one of those drops out, I'll put in Nickel Boys, and Anjanou Ellis Taylor I feel like would have to go in there somehow. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling. Saoirse Ronan for Blitz, honestly kind of in a similar position I have in with Anjanou Ellis for Nickel Boys. Like if Blitz is in Best Picture, I'll probably put Saoirse Ronan back in. Leslie Manville for Queer. Again, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit, the top 7 is a little bit too stacked right now. Elle Fanning for A Complete Unknown. Maybe we'll have to see how showy she is and if she has any big moments in the film. Right now, I'm not gonna say it right. I'm not gonna claim that right now, because it might just be a showcase for Timothée Chalamet and Edward Norton. But we'll have to see about that. We'll have to see. Natasha Lyonne for His Three Daughters. I think that might be a critic's thing, but that's not going to happen much. Isabel Rossellini. People are saying that she's not really as showy as you would think, or is not in a lot of the movie. Maria Bakalova for The Apprentice, probably not. Joan Chen for Dee Dee. I actually did just watch Dee Dee today. She's wonderful in it. I would not be opposed to her getting a nomination, but Dee Dee, it just doesn't exist. People don't know what Dee Dee is. No one has. Did anyone even see this movie? Wow. Okay. Yeah. This was released by Focus Features, and it made $5 million. No one went to go see this movie. That is crazy. No one saw this movie. Even though, man. So yeah, I guess I'm probably not going to predict Joan Chen. Honestly, I should have Margaret Qualley up a little bit higher, maybe. Because at least people have seen The Substance. But I guess it's kind of too late right now. I don't really feel like editing things right now. But yeah. Supporting actor, I still have Clarence Macklin at number 1. If I think Sing Sing is winning Best Picture, then I have to have Clarence Macklin at number 1. That's kind of what needs to happen. So I have my reasoning there. Guy Pearce for The Brutalist. Maybe. If Sing Sing truly is dead, then Guy Pearce could start winning. Now let's talk about Denzel Washington for Gladiator 2, because the reactions for that movie have come out. People are saying he's incredible in the film. They're saying this is one of his best performances. People are even saying that if Gladiator gets into Best Picture, then he could win supporting actor. He could win his 3rd Oscar for this, which is kind of crazy. Again, I don't think Gladiator 2 is getting Best Picture right now. It just feels like it's going to be very good. People are going to like it quite a bit. But even to make a comparison to Avatar 2, I'm not really convinced that's Avatar 2. As I said in my members only video that I did, where I was reacting to comments and I was, responding to comments regarding my previous Oscar predictions. video. The problem with comparing Gladiator 2 to Avatar: The Way of Water for me is that James Cameron, he does not make a lot of movies. He does not make a lot of movies. Like in the past, yeah, like in the 21st century, he's only made 2 movies, or like Avatar and Avatar 2. And then before that, you had 1997 with Titanic. At this point in his career, he is not making a lot of movies, but whenever he does make them, they get into Best Picture. Right now, now you take a look at Ridley Scott. He makes a movie almost every year, sometimes 2 movies in 1 year. And because of that, like just pumping out movie after movie after movie, he does not really his movies are very hit or miss. And I mean really hit or miss. Like, I think he's had in total only 2 or 3 movies nominated for Best Picture ever. Like, and you look at some of his films, he'll do, what was it called? He'll do Alien Covenant, and then he'll do All the Money in the World. He'll do The Last Duel, but then he'll do House of Gucci. He'll do Gladiator 2, and then and before that he was doing Napoleon. Like, his filmography is still too hit or miss for me to predict Gladiator 2 for a nomination. If it got in for Best Picture Drama at the Globes, okay, then it's in. Because that category is so stacked right now. If Gladiator 2 actually managed to get into Best Picture Drama at the Globes, then it's in. And if that happens, then Denzel Washington could win Supporting Actor. But again, I guess it also depends on how strong Sing Sing is. But I guess that is tough. It is tough. But Denzel Washington, even if the movie does not get into Best Picture, like, the response from people right now is already saying that, yep, Denzel's gonna get nominated for this, which I kind of figured, considering, if he got in for Roman J. Israel Esquire, then he's gonna get in for Gladiator 2. That's just happening right now. But yeah. Edward Norton for a complete unknown. I'm going with him right now because I do feel like it's getting into Best Picture. And not a lot of other contenders are, screaming out to me. But he's transforming. He looks like he's going to be doing some stuff. I think he might get nominated. And then J.K. Simmons for Juror Number 2. This is the shaky one. Because if Juror Number 2 is in for Best Picture, then I think he could get in. Because it looks like from the trailer he's playing this, like, detective. Or, like, this person this guy that's hunting down the murderer, which turns out is our protagonist, and he doesn't know that the protagonist is the murderer. Like that could be a very interesting role to nominate, especially if you give this Best Picture. So and since I have Juror Number 2 in Best Picture right now, I'm going with him in Supporting Actor. But I know some people were saying Paul Raci would not really be an option for Sing Sing. That he's not in the movie a whole lot. I don't know. Having seen Sing Sing, if you really love Sing Sing, you could probably squeeze him in there. You could. Especially with how not really stacked this year is for movies. He could just coattail the nominations. You could just nominate him again. And he is a previous nominee, so you could go, oh yeah, like Paul Raci, we like him. We'll put him in this movie too. Like, we like the Sing Sing team. We want to nominate Sing Sing. So that could happen. Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. I think he's good. I don't know. This is just kind of my feeling right now. I feel like Kieran Culkin is Charles Melton, where he's like a big critics thing that doesn't really translate to the Oscars. We'll have to see if it gets into Best Picture, but I'm kind of thinking no. Stanley Tucci for Conclave. Again, he could also maybe happen, but I don't know. I just have a feeling Conclave is going to underperform at the Oscars. Like, I don't think it gets Best Director, and I don't think it's winning an adapted screenplay. So there's all that. Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. Again, I guess out of all the supporting cast, if someone were to be nominated, it would be him. But I feel like at this point, The Apprentice is just what is it? It's just Sebastian Stan or bust. It's just that. John Lithgow for Conclave. I've heard that he's not really as showy as, like, you know, Stanley Tucci, so probably not right now. Mark Edelstein for Anora. All right. Like, I know a lot of people are trying to predict him, and I do get that Anora is, like, top 3 for Best Picture. But I don't know. Again, like, he's going up against a lot of other, like, big veterans, and I just don't know if he's gonna win. Not win, but I don't know. If he's going against so many, like, big names, and Clarence Macklin, he's, like, in winning contention. So, like, I could see why even an unknown like him could, you know, could win supporting actor. But with Mark Edelstein, he's probably not in winning conversation. So, like, I don't know if I can predict him here. Ray Fisher for The Piano Lesson. Honestly, it would be kind of crazy if he got nominated for SAG. Like, that might happen. But right now, I don't think so. And plus, out of all the male supporting cast, apparently he's, like, the biggest, like, name, like, no, the biggest performance in the film. And whereas with Samuel L. Jackson, I've heard that he's just pretty much non-existent. No one cares about him. Brian Tyree Henry for The Fire Inside. I don't know. Probably not happening right now. And out of all the supporting cast in Dune Part 2, I do think Javier Bardem stands a better chance than Austin Butler, considering, you know, he's a previous Oscar winner, has been nominated multiple times. Like, his face is all over the memes, like, it's Al Galib, or whatever the sand people say in Dune Part 2. But, like, you know, like he's all over the place. Maybe, but I don't know. I just feel like Dune is just not going to be an acting contender. And then finally, SAG Ensemble. All right. The only two that I feel like I have, like, in a winning order are Sing Sing and Emilia Perez. Like, one of these two is going to win, and I think it's going to be Sing Sing. Sing Sing is going to need this to win Best Picture, even though I did just say that by the time Oscar voting ends, it's going to be right around the SAG time. But I don't know. I guess a few things would need to happen. Like, if Clarence Macklin starts looking like he's winning supporting actor, and if Sing Sing wins, like, adapted screenplay somewhere, and I guess he would have to, I guess, like, that would, like, you know, Sing Sing would have to win adapted screenplay at, like, Critics' Choice or BAFTA, or preferably both, to win Best Picture, considering it's not WGA eligible. But if this won SAG Ensemble, it would probably very much win Best Picture. But then you also have Emilia Perez, and people are really raving about the cast in this one, and this is also, like, a film that I honestly think is in winning contention, despite what some people are saying. It is a crowd pleaser, it has text, it has acting support behind it, and so you want to throw in director in there, that's the one thing. Like, I don't know where Jacques Audiard would win Best Director. I don't know where he would win Best Director. That's the tough one to call. Like, unless he somehow, like, won DGA. Like, if he won DGA, wow, ooh. But that would have to be like a Tom Hooper type situation, I feel. Because I don't think we're going to get another, like, Bong Joon-ho situation. But yeah. The other three, it's not really me ranking them in terms of who I think wins, but rather which I think is more likely for a nomination. Because no matter what, I will say, I did make a switch. Saturday night, I no longer have in SAG Ensemble, and instead I have The Piano Lesson. For a couple reasons. One, people don't care about Saturday night. They really don't. Even at the box office, it's not doing that great, if I'm not mistaken. Yikes! This movie cost between $25 to $30 million, and it's only made $7.6 million. And it came out nearly a month ago. That is, wow. That is, okay, that's kind of crazy. So, yeah. And I think overall, like, I guess people just don't care about Saturday night. Whereas with The Piano Lesson, like, it has a few things going for it. One, it's Netflix, so it doesn't really matter if it gets, you know, big theatrical release. People are going to watch it on Netflix anyway. But even then, SAG loves August Wilson play adaptations. They really love August Wilson play adaptations, because look at Fences. It got nominated for Ensemble, and it won both of its individual acting nominations. Obviously, Viola Davis won Best Supporting Actress, but Denzel Washington actually ended up winning Best Lead Actor, which no one saw coming. And then you have Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, again, nominated for SAG Ensemble. And Chadwick Boseman won lead actor there, very expected. And then what happens? Boom. Viola Davis, out of nowhere, wins lead actress. No one expected that. And so, then we get to the piano lesson. I don't think it's going to win anything here. Although, I guess if anything were to happen, Daniel Deadweiler could win, but that would throw a wrench into a lot of things. But still, they love August Wilson play adaptations. And I already said before that I think the 5th slot at SAG is going to go to John David Washington, because again, they just love they love the August Wilson plays. And so when you take that all in mind, I feel like that would be the 3rd most likely to get nominated. Again, I don't think it's going to win because it's not really I don't think it's getting into Best Picture at the Oscars, but SAG just loves August Wilson. They love August Wilson plays. Again, so much to the fact that the individual acting prizes will be given to people that were just not expected to win. So yeah. And so what do I have with the other two? Right now, I'll go with A Complete Unknown and Juror Number 2, because I want to go 4 out of 5 with Best Picture. I don't want all 5 of them to be in Best Picture. So that's why I have The Piano Lesson as the lone non-Best Picture nominated film. But with A Complete Unknown, I could maybe see this being like a Bohemian Rhapsody type deal, or a Theory of Everything type deal where that was nominated for Best Picture, even though, nominated for Ensemble, even though people were like, wait, you're nominating this for Ensemble? I think that would probably happen, because again, there's not much of an argument for a lot of other things. Juror Number 2, maybe if people see it and if people love it, then yeah, I think this would be it would also make for a good sign for it to be in Best Picture, because you would have Toni Collette coming for that Oscar nomination, maybe J.K. Simmons coming for that Oscar nomination. Original screenplay, I mean, it's going to have at least Writers Guild at bare minimum, and it might get Critics' Choice as well. And would BAFTA go for it? Maybe. We'll have to see. So there's that. And again, it could get PGA. So like, basically I'm kind of predicting Juror Number 2 for SAG Ensemble as part of that path to Best Picture. Like, I feel like it would probably get this for it to get Best Picture. Saturday Night, again, that does make sense for a nomination, but I did take it out because it's like, no one cares about this movie. I feel like Saturday Night would also be that film that everyone expects to get SAG Ensemble, but then it just doesn't get in, like Knives Out or Glass Onion, where it has like an impossibly big cast, and then when it gets snubbed, it's like, what? How did you not nominate Saturday Night? So there's that. Conclave, that honestly is one that I am like thinking about, but again, I'm just kind of expecting it to underperform, and I don't even know how well SAG would like Conclave. Like, I don't know if it sounds like a SAG-friendly film. I know everyone's saying, the ensemble in Anora. Again, I need to see Anora, but I don't know. I need to be convinced of its ensemble for that to get in. The Brutalist, it does have the ingredients for an ensemble nomination, but at the same time, The Brutalist, it kind of shares a lot of similarities with like Roma and Power of the Dog, where those didn't get SAG Ensemble because they just weren't SAG-friendly movies. We'll have to see. Wicked, if it's stronger in Best Picture, we'll have to see. Gladiator 2, maybe that could take the slot away from The Piano Lesson. We'll have to see. Dune Part 2, it should get Ensemble. It should get an Ensemble nomination, but they didn't even nominate the first one. And granted, this one is better received, and I feel like has even more highlight-worthy performances. But I don't know. I just feel like they're not going to do it there. Blitz, I don't know. Room Next Door, September 5. It does have the ensemble, but I just don't think this is going to be a big, strong film. And Kinds of Kindness, probably not. But yeah, guys. Those are my Oscar predictions for October in terms of the acting categories and SAG Ensemble. But now I'm going to pass the question off to you. what are your acting on Oscar predictions, including for SAG Ensemble for the month of October? Let me know in the comments below what you think, and I will be reacting to these comments in a future reading your comments video, which is going to be coming sometime this week. And, you know, if you want, like I said, memberships are open, and you can get access to all those videos. It's a lot of fun, and I really appreciate it if you became a member, because I want to help make this channel grow and whatnot. And so, yeah, thank you so much for watching, and consider hitting that subscribe button, because if you don't, you will never learn the piano.